Okay. Good evening. I would like to call the order the Community Diversity Engagement Council. It is Thursday, February 6, 2025. I would also like to ask the recorder to please call roll.
Tammy Kenz.
Here.
Jane Tichenal. Here. Councilor Cross.
Here.
Benita Picasso.
Here.
Carrie Brown. Here. Stephanie Cross.
Here.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Thank you. We're going to go right into our agenda. And the first thing in order that we moved on to today's meeting was the election of the chair and vice chair. Are we ready to get into that motion or to that space? Yes.
I just want to.
Councilor Cross.
Okay, thank you. Just want to comment real quick with our work session coming up on Monday and with there possibly being changes, putting it out there that this is something, if the rest of the council decides to go with the BCC and new appointees, that could be changed. That everyone's aware of that.
So are you saying, like, if we make a decision tonight at the work session, it could change? Is that what?
It's a possibility, so
Got it.
just moving forward on a couple of these items that some of this work could be undone, that we keep that in the back of our head.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so can we move on?
So we are going to move on to the election of the chair and vice chair.
Okay, so I make a motion to nominate Benita Picasso for the chair. I second. What's next? What's next?
Any, ask for any other nominations.
Are there any other nominations? I'm trying to get myself.
You're fine.
This is not. Any other nominations? I would like to nominate Jane.
I'll second that. So the process, are there any other nominations?
Are there any other nominations?
So if I recommend, what you do is on a slip of paper, write your name and the person you're voting for and hand them to Tim. And then they can be read into the record.
John, do you want our names on here?
Why don't you?
Before we get to those names, I do want to, although I appreciate and I'm very humbled by the nomination, I do want to make sure that the council is aware that I do have a busy schedule, and I feel guilty taking a position that I know that someone else can have more time and dedicate more time to this. I would like to continue to support this, and I would be by your side. But I think it would be unprofessional of me to take this position knowing that there's going to be meetings that I might not be able to make it due to my travel time back to Kaiser for my work.
So since I made a motion, I can withdraw the motion? Is that the way?
Or I can remove myself. Can I remove myself?
Yes, you can.
Or remove myself?
You have one. So with one nominee, you can call for unanimous for consensus if you want to.
Okay. So with one nomination, is everyone agrees with that? All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay.
Those.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you for the nomination and the vote. I'm very excited. Thank you.
Yeah. Selection of the vice chair. Any nominations?
I nominate Carrie Brown.
I second.
Any other nominations? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. So Stephanie Cross, you are the, oh, Carrie Cross.
Carrie.
Sorry. Carrie Brown, Vice Chair.
Do you both accept those nominations?
I'm sorry, who seconded it for the vice chair? Thank you, Jane.
Carrie.
Do I have to say something? Okay, I accept the nomination.
So now you switch places with Benita.
So you switch.
Sorry.
Is this yours or mine?
Yours.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job, Benita.
Thank you.
Told you you got this.
have to? Okay, well, say these things as well.
No, you just pick up at number 3.
Here, I'll help you.
Items.
I'll help you.
I have one more bag underneath.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're moving on to the approval of minutes. Okay, so we're moving on to the approval of minutes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to make a change. Let's see here. Okay, it's just a small change. So if you look at the second page of the minutes, I am being referred as Carrie Wood. I'm either Carrie or I'm being Tim. Anyway, I think it's supposed to be Carrie Brown. Do you see that?
I don't see it yet.
Yep. Under March 11th work session, second paragraph, second line.
Yep.
It is, found it.
Good catch, Carrie.
Let's see, appearance of interested persons. Is this where we call for? Oh, sorry.
As amended.
I do.
Vote to amend the, vote to amend the approval of minutes?
I said,
Counselor Cross seconded?
All the, oh, sorry.
No, Carrie.
Carrie, thank you.
All those in favor? Say aye.
aye.
Motion passes.
I don't know if that's a motion. Okay.
Okay, so it looks like we're moving on to the selection of National Observant Months for committee presentations to council. Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. The appearance of interested persons. Do we have somebody who's speaking? Come on up. Once you get settled, go ahead and give us your name and your place of residence.
My name is Chris Adams, and I live in Kaiser.
Make sure your red light's on, please.
Yeah, it is.
There we go.
Okay. I'm Chris Adams. I've been a resident of Kaiser for 60 years. I am very invested in what happens in Kaiser, and I want to let everyone know how much I appreciate this committee. It covers all of Kaiser, not just part of it. As being part of the LGBTQ community, God, if I could think, it's real important for me to live in a city that recognizes not all of us are the same, but we have the rights that are the same of everyone that lives here. And your committee helps endorse, obviously, that thinking, and so does the city of Kaiser. And so I just wanted to say thanks. I'm not representing a whole big group, just myself, but I just wanted to let you know how much I appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Chris.
Is there anybody else who is wanting to speak tonight? Okay. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the National Observance Months for committee presentations for the council.
Since we don't have a full committee yet, I think that we can start and we can volunteer and sign up for those months that we would like to be in charge of. So I'll start.
Take it away, Carrie.
Okay, so I already did the February 3rd, which is a Black History Month. And then we have the rest of the months that are available for us. And traditionally, I have done the May 5th Asian Pacific Heritage Month, and, you know, I can do that again. And I have also done the September 15th, the National Hispanic Heritage Month, and I can do that. And I can also do the November 3rd Native American Heritage Month. I don't have to do all of them, I'm just volunteering for those. If somebody else wants any of those dates, it'd be fine with me. And I think that, like for the September 16th, it was more than one person. So that's a possibility also. It doesn't have to be just one person.
Okay, great. Carrie, thank you for that. Does anyone else have anything? Yes.
Thanks, Carrie. With Asian Pacific Heritage Month, I wouldn't mind hopping on that since my grandfather was born in the Philippines, so I wouldn't mind partnering.
So you want to be added?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind partnering with you on that one.
Okay.
And if no one else takes Child Abuse Prevention Month with my involvement with CASA and Liberty House in the Y, I wouldn't mind helping with that one.
We usually have Paige come in that month with
with,
Center for Hope and Safety. I
Yes, and
believe.
then the other thing with those is when we had our work session, we talked about having, we could do up to 2 proclamations a month, so that, one, it was just one? Okay. So, well, that's something that we need to talk about then.
Yep.
There you go, 1 a month.
So I do have a question on that topic.
Yep.
When we're only gonna start doing one proclamation a month, are we gonna be able to mail out the others? Or are we gonna do them, what's that process supposed to look like now? Because I've had people ask me and I don't have the answer yet.
I mean, that would be something that we can talk to the mayor about, I would think, as a council. I mean, I think that we talked about it during the work session, that if you went to a club, you could give a proclamation, but I don't have the answer for it.
I know several of you during the work session didn't want to do more than one a month because it took up a lot of time. But I also know on the other side of that, the community really enjoys that part because we're honoring different parts of our heritage throughout those processes.
I can
I'm-
only speak for myself and what we decided.
Yeah, I know.
Is that set in stone, only having one proclamation per month?
Mayor Clark?
It was in the newly adopted rules of procedure, so any variation would have to go back to council for approval to suspend the rules to do that. as I understand it. Also, Ms. Kunz is correct for the Child Abuse Prevention Month. We generally have Liberty House come in to do the presentation.
Is that what we just talked about with Vanessa coming in for CASA?
No, that's a separate one that we just approved. That's not on this list. That's for foster child.
And what month was that?
We're going to put that on April 21st.
Okay.
Right, and that's a one-off.
And that was foster appreciation?
Foster, I think foster child, I'd go back and look at the title. That's a recognition of foster children and foster families. So Ms. Nordyke, the Executive Director of CASA of Marion County, will be here to receive that one.
So do we want to talk about if it's one, if as it stands right now, it's one per month, do we want to,
One per meeting.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry to interrupt, one per meeting.
I thought we were saying one per month, that's
My
what I
bad.
heard
Yeah, but
earlier.
One per meeting.
One per meeting.
But we don't do
So we can
these
have
in work
two-
sessions. We only have 2 meetings per
You're
month.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, man.
2.
So we can change one of them to a different week,
What if we,
or to a
mer-
different meeting.
We just,
right, but what if we merge the Asian Pacific and Jewish heritage into one?
They're different.
Yeah, Pat Rabbi usually comes for that.
They're very different.
Yeah, that's true.
So we can move one of them to a different date.
Yeah.
Is it one, so again, I need more clarity, is it, so one per meeting?
correct.
Yes.
And if we're looking at at the schedule, these are all fine as it stands?
These are what we've done in the past.
So is it appropriate
Are there any,
at this meeting to change, like, one of them to a different date? Can we do that today?
well, I don't know that we would, I mean, we can discuss on that. I guess I'm asking, do the dates look fine as they stand? They don't?
No, because there's like, for May the 5th, there's 3 of them. You can't do that.
Okay.
And these might.
So you
line
have
up
to
with
move
last year's
something.
city council meetings.
Oh, so meaning we would have to change.
These might line up to last year's city council meetings.
I think that's where we're at, where we need to define, do we have the schedule?
This is the 25 schedule.
It is?
That's, yeah. Ms. Wilson, yeah, at the top it says this is updated January 14, 2025. So these are the city council meetings for 25 in which we would normally have them.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you. That gives more clarity.
I just said we have city council on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, that's the one for Women's History Month.
So I just told Chair Tichenal that there's different, like in March, some people celebrate Heart Month or have, this is the opportunity that we can add things and give it to council to see what they would approve and not approve. Or some people celebrate Earth Recycling Day or.
Well, I think the first thing would be like sorting through these, because we have 3 in March on the same day, March 5th.
Are you talking about March or May?
I'm sorry,
May.
May.
May 5th, we have Older American Month, Asian Pacific, and Jewish American.
So the option would, my understanding is that we do need to combine the celebration of 2 of these proclamations.
Not combined necessarily, they can be moved
Well-
dates.
Okay. So the Older Americans Month, would we be open to moving that one? Because it seems like the other 2,
I think we could probably move that to,
Not just one.
huh?
May I make a suggestion on the older Americans? With everybody's consensus, I'd be willing to contact the the senior center and see if they would like to have that done there. Rather than have them come to a meeting here, or we've never had someone come from the senior center here for that, or Center 50 Plus, but we could also go there.
That's a good idea.
And I would also say that we have the opportunity to maybe celebrate months that we haven't done before, because March has been celebrated in other cities, National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month. So
I've done that.
things that we
Yeah, we
haven't
do
done
ours in
before,
October.
because we have done these for the last couple of years.
So is it the one that, is it different than National Disability Employment Awareness Month on October?
National Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, that's celebrated in March.
And we have it in October?
No, it's a different.
Different one? Okay.
It's different.
Okay.
That's employment, and the one in March is Developmental Disabilities Awareness. And right now, we only have one, so.
Is that something we would have to vote on right now? If we wanted to add that?
I'm okay with making a motion to move that to March for National Disability Awareness.
Yeah, because they're separate.
This one?
No, the employment one will stay in October. We're adding a National Disability Awareness to March if everybody is in agreement.
Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month.
So that would be March. So that would make it like March 3rd, because the 1st and 3rd Mondays are regular sessions. 2nd and 4th is work sessions.
Okay,
I bel-
so
yeah.
can we look at the other two on May 5th, the Asian Pacific and the Jewish American? Should one of those be moved to the next council meeting date?
Well, I think the suggestion was to move the Older American Month.
To April.
That's, yes, but that still leaves two.
Right, but we have two different dates in May that we can use. We have May 5th and May 19th. So one can be done on the first week, one can be done on the third week.
Yeah. So which one are we moving?
I think Jane's still on March.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry,
Whoa, Speed racers.
sorry.
That's okay. So, let's see, in March, we still need to fill, who's going to be the committee
So
member. to do
National
that.
Disability Awareness would fall on the 3rd. And I don't mind taking that on. I can get a speaker for that one.
Okay, I can do the women's history. Okay, and then we have in April, we're gonna have Cross, and then Vanessa come from CASA. Was that correct?
Usually that's Liberty House.
Oh, I'm sorry, Liberty House.
CASA's getting the one in, on April 21st.
Oh, thank you.
So April
I'm sorry?
21st is,
On April 21st, we're doing a Foster Family Awareness Month, and that's for CASA.
Okay.
Oh, that's CASA.
Yes, they have requested that one, and council approved it. So,
Okay. Let's see, May 5th, we're moving that to Center 50 Plus.
or Salem area seniors, I'll contact both of them.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, and then Asian Pacific Heritage Month, we have Cross and Brown, who is going to help with that. And then we also are going to have Jewish American Heritage Month. And I'm sorry, did anyone already volunteer for that?
I'll contact Rabbi Pearlstein. He usually comes and accepts that one and does a short presentation.
Okay, thank you.
And the date for that one was what?
May 5th.
19th.
Let me
sorry.
move that one to the 19th.
To May 19th?
Would you like me to check with Rabbi, see which one is available for him?
Oh, that might
Yes.
be a good
It's
idea.
the 19th?
Yeah, between the
Yes.
two of them, and let you know, and then the other one can be,
Okay, Counselor Cross?
I had a thought the other night with Black History Month, if we could even reach out to the schools or the high school clubs with the upcoming Asian Pacific or Jewish American, so to get those kiddos or clubs or high schoolers in here, that get them engaged and let them know that we're celebrating and, you know, get more people in the picture. and
Yes.
There we are.
Yes, I think that's a great idea. I can contact McNary and see if they would be available to help, I think, with that sort of partnership moving forward.
And contact the Micronesian Club and the
Yes,
Filipino.
okay. Okay, great. So that's going to be on the 19th, pending the rabbi. Perfect. I'm excited to have more of the students involved. I think that's a good idea. Okay, June 2nd, we have LGBTQ month/Pride Month. Does anyone feel passionate about taking that on? Otherwise, I can,
I can take that one.
yeah, great.
Benita.
Benita, sorry. Okay, and then we have Juneteenth. I can help with that. Okay, and then we have in September, yeah, so it looks like, sorry, Counselor Cross? Oh, yeah. So, I think, so September is also Suicide Awareness Month, and I think Cross brought up a good point. I think that would be important to celebrate, and I agree. So could we, instead of the Constitution Week, change that to Suicide Awareness?
No, can we keep that and just add, there's 3 Mondays in September. So we have the 1st, 15th, and 29th.
you don't meet on the 29th.
Oh, well, that's right, too.
I would move, it would. that
First
we-
to
Suicide
15th.
awareness and such, I mean, we have done Constitution Week traditionally. Yes, if we could include everything all the time, but with the impact that suicide has in society.
How
right now.
about we petition council for an exception so that we can do both? Because I really like hearing the different processes from the Daughters of the American.
This is, Chair?
Sorry.
This is requested every year by the local Daughters of the American Revolution. This is a local organization that comes and does their presentation. So this is a local group. That's why it's on the list.
Okay.
But it's also something that you could go to them with, right?
No. If I might suggest, September 15th is significant for both of those proclamations because of the timeliness. Constitution Week and Hispanic Heritage starts on the 15th. It doesn't start at the beginning of the month. We could ask council that we could do two, because those are both time sensitive.
And do the suicide awareness on the 1st.
I would like that one, and that would
Yeah, I
be
would
on
like to do
Tuesday.
that the
but yeah.
first. It's, although it's Labor Day, so we.
Day after.
Meet.
It would be the first Tuesday,
It'd be the first Tuesday of that month.
September 2nd, I believe.
Let's do it. Yes, actually, that's a good idea.
So suicide awareness, the first Tuesday of the month, okay with everybody? I didn't catch it all.
And I usually get a request for that anyway, so
Oh, great.
we've done that before.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's see. National Hispanic Heritage Month. Carrie, you said that you would take that one over. Does anyone else?
Yep, I'll do it too.
Anita? Great. Okay.
And I would like October 6th. I usually bring in a speaker for that one.
Which one, National Disability?
National Disability Awareness, employment awareness.
Yeah. the- Do you want to talk about it?
Well, I just want to throw out again, because I know that traditionally we've done those, and we are doing the disability one. Tammy, and again, this is why we're all different, that is also National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and it's also Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah.
Two things that that affect everyone.
If I might also, with the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, I know it's not on the permanent list, but it is one that I have done every year. National Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and awareness and prevention. And traditionally, we've had the director of Center for Hope and Safety and the DA come. It is October. So
And what date?
October, and October is also, oh, sorry.
It's October.
Mental Health Awareness Month.
but that one, we might want to consider just putting that on the permanent list, because we do that one every year, and we've heard from the DA and from the executive director that that one is really important for continuing to raise awareness.
I agree. So it's sounding like,
Do we want to?
are we in place of the National Disability Employment? Are we switching
I
that
think
for
that-
domestic violence
I
awareness?
think that we can probably loop in the employment to the one in March. Tammy.
I'm okay with
Oh,
that.
that's a good idea.
Like, talk about both items.
Yeah, I think that's a great compromise.
Make it super meaty.
Yes.
Thank you, that's going to be fun to write.
Okay,
You know I
so,
write these.
oh,
So
yeah.
do we want to move that to the mental health awareness for suicide awareness? Is that what you want, Sarita?
I think Kathy said Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Mayor Kathy, Mayor Clark, sorry.
October, I would like to see if we could add to the permanent list the National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We do it every year, it's super
do.
important.
And I love hearing the different stuff from Paige every year.
Yes.
'Cause we always learn something new.
Okay, so it sounds like in October, we're going to have Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we're going to have Indigenous Peoples' Day. I know breast cancer is also in that month, but I believe that there are also other, right, stuff in,
Yeah, no, I like that.
And on the dates,
Okay, cool.
October 6th, we have two on the same date, so that would change.
so we're going to move the National Disability Employment to March with the National Development Awareness. So the,
And domestic violence will be when?
correct, in October.
October 6th,
It'll
and then
take the
indigenous,
place of that.
Can we move
Yeah,
on?
so we'll have in
Indigen-
October, we'll
Indigenous?
have Domestic Violence Awareness Month and then Indigenous Peoples' Day.
so what day for the indigenous?
Okay, so what, I'm sorry, what? The 20th?
October 20th.
Okay.
Because I think Indigenous People Day is October 12th. Right?
November,
It's kind of after the fact.
So do we need that one on our list if it's, can I make a motion we take off Indigenous Peoples' Day since it's just like one day? So that we have the room to focus, we can still recognize that.
Can I ask who, who in the past has come, present or offer?
I'm going to leave
Mayor?
that to Mayor Clark.
Generally, what we do, because the Native American Heritage Month is November, that's when Chair Pigsley will come and receive that one. She has not come for Indigenous Peoples' Day. So that is the one that we've had her come. And other Native American community members for the one in November.
Okay.
So is that set in stone that Dolores Pigsley?
I always invite her.
Huh? You always invite her? Okay, I put my name down, but I only did it because I thought, I could invite somebody, but.
When we can get her or Bo Lane, Vice Chair, it's really powerful.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're all good with that.
And it's always some new material. It's never the same. I really enjoy that.
Yeah. Okay, so it sounds like we're going to, in October, we're going to do Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and we're going to keep Indigenous Peoples' Day on October 20th.
I thought we were getting rid of the day.
I thought we could take that one off.
I guess I don't see why we would.
After the fact.
It's after the fact.
The Indigenous Peoples' Day, if I have it correct, is October 12th. Is that correct?
But are all of these other, celebrations on their exact national
Oh, 13th.
day?
They,
I mean, as close
I'm going to
probably
let
as
Mayor Clark answer
possible.
that one because her and Sarita are more qualified for that one. You want to repeat that question for her, Jane?
Yeah, so I guess my question is, even though it's past the exact day, I mean, are all of the other holidays or proclamations that we're celebrating also on their exact national day?
I have a suggestion.
Yeah.
I can check with Ashley Carson and with the DA, which of those two is available, get them booked in, and then we do the other one, on the one that's flexible for us. Would that be okay? If I get them this on their calendar now, they will be totally shocked, starters. But then we have the date reserved.
That's a great idea. Yeah,
That sounds great.
for Indigenous Peoples' Day.
No, for the domestic violence awareness, and then we'll,
Figure it out.
whichever one they don't use, then
Yeah, I like the domestic violence.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
okay.
Okay, moving on, November, we have Native American Heritage Month.
Volunteering for too much.
Kathy's taken that.
Okay,
Take my name off of that.
Kathy, thank you. Do we have anything else in November that we want to add?
There's
Oh,
National
small
Veterans
business,
and Military Families Month, I think.
small business Saturday.
Small Business Saturday, it's also.
I always get asked to do that one. And then the Chamber of Commerce receives it.
Okay,
So that's usually the second one in November, right before the holiday season, really shopping season takes off.
okay, so that's one option. Any other options that you want to
Other ones
discuss?
that I would say was, it's National Alzheimer's Disease Awareness Month. And it's also National Veterans and Military Families Month. And I love my chambers, but again,
I don't see why we can't mention small business and then celebrate our veterans. They sacrifice a lot so that we can be here.
and their families. And along with the fact that right about that time, the Ryan Hill Monument will be going,
Yep.
kind of goes together.
Yeah, what do you think?
Everybody okay with that one?
Yeah, I was get asked to do a small business Saturday, so I do it.
Okay,
And it promotes our local small businesses, especially our family businesses.
Yeah, and I know
that's
that
important
they
too.
appreciate that too, because I hear from the businesses that I go to on that day and just thank them for being there, and they're always glad to know that we recognize them.
Can I ask,
Maybe
so
we
was
can do
that
both.
the small business, is that like an actual
kind of
event
an
that
honor.
happens, you said on a Saturday, it's like,
It's the Saturday,
Day after Thanksgiving.
okay.
But that one is not on the list, is that we're saying we want to add it to the list?
I would love that. Well, in my experience, I have done it, I think, every year since I took office. Because I get asked to do it, and supporting our small businesses has been a cornerstone for our city, especially since we have so many small businesses that are our backbone.
I think we can get two approved for November.
I absolutely 100% agree with that. A big chamber supporter. But on the other hand, if we're really trying to include and grab from everywhere, then we have the opportunity to include these groups that we haven't included before. my
So,
opinion.
I would like to add the veterans and the small business.
Is there a way that we could somehow combine?
Well,
I guess my question is
Veterans?
Memorial coming up.
Yeah.
I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of ceremony for that, which will probably be, I'm assuming, close to Veterans Day. Just,
They're aiming at September 28th.
oh, okay. So much for that, then.
Isn't it? Yeah. The only reason I know that is because that is like Gold Star Memorial Family Day or something like that. So the goal is to have that thing at least close enough to celebrate it.
Is there,
Yeah, and Veterans Day is November 11th.
is the small business celebration, is that always on the same day every year?
It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Okay, sorry, Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yep.
I guess I'm wondering, why couldn't we have, if that's on a Saturday, and then we celebrate the vets on a Monday, and the Native American heritage also on the other Monday, couldn't we technically have 3 going on that month?
I don't understand the question. We don't meet on Saturday.
they do the proclamations on Monday. And to answer your question, yes, they've done 3 before, but some of the council doesn't want to do more than 1.
Oh, okay.
And so my suggestion is maybe that month we'd ask for an exception and do 2 and then 1 the following, whatever day that is, because I'm not looking at the calendar for that month.
So it's the 3rd and the 17th are the 2 Mondays, I believe.
Yeah.
Do we want to take a vote if there's not a creative solution?
We could ask council to see if we could do 2 on November 3rd, Native American and veteran. And then
Small business.
small business on the 17th.
I agree.
Be okay?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
What if we ask council to allow for, on November 3rd, Native American and veteran, since they're both timely, and November 17th, Small Business Saturday?
I'm good with that.
But what if they don't? You still need 2 for backup. Or we're gonna end up
Well,
with
if they don't, then we'll decide when they decide. It's a ways away. We have time.
Asking's free.
Do we want to pencil that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and then we have
Did you get all of that?
I thought that better.
December, Human Rights Day. Is there anything else going on in December?
We also have to consider that December is busy. So I think keeping that one is fine.
And it's the beginning of the month, so
That kind of
before
ties in with the human rights.
Right.
So I could take that one.
No. Can we speak up when we say it so that we have,
Sorry, right on.
Thank you.
I can take that one.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Stephanie's taking December.
And then did I hear Jane take March 17th, Women's History Month?
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Jane, can you review our list with Dawn to make sure we got everything?
Yes.
Because some of that I caught and some of that I didn't.
Okay, hopefully I got most of it. Okay. February, Black History Month. Carrie, thank you for doing that. March, we're going to do Women's History Month and National Development Awareness Month. And myself and.
So who do you
Gabby.
have down for that? Because I want to be added to that
Yeah,
one
so
since
you're
we.
in that, yeah.
Okay.
We're both in that. In April, we're going to do Child Abuse Prevention Month. Yeah, so that's with Liberty House. And then, are you going to be helping out with that? Okay, thank you. Thank you. In May, we're going to do Older Americans Month with Center 50 Plus or the other, I'm sorry, I don't remember the other.
Salem Kaiser area seniors.
Thank you. And Sarita, did you say that you were going to be?
I'm help Carrie with Asian.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, Asian Pacific Heritage Month. Counselor Cross and Brown will be leading that. And then the Jewish American Heritage Month, May 19th, pending scheduling from the rabbi. June 2nd, LGBTQ month. Benita is going to go ahead and head that. Juneteenth, I will help with that, Jane. We're going to change the Constitution Week to Suicide Awareness. And yes? Or I'm add it, I'm sorry.
First,
Adding.
adding on September 2nd for suicide awareness.
Thank you.
And we're going to ask council to approve the two for the 15th since that's where they fall.
Okay. Let's see. In October, National Disability Employment Awareness Month. We're going to move that to March. And we're going to replace that with Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Was anyone willing to add that? Center for Hope and
Safety.
Great, thank you.
I will reach out to the DA and the Center for Hope and Safety, get that on, figure out which in October works for them, and let everybody know.
Thank you. Okay, and then we have Indigenous Peoples Day. We're going to do that on October 20th. And then in November, we're going to celebrate Native American Heritage Month, and Kathy's going to go ahead and lead that. And then in December, we're going to celebrate Human Rights Day, and Stephanie Cross is going to be in charge of that.
Yeah, military was added to November.
Okay, and thank you. And then in November, we're going to check with council to see if we can add the military
And
month.
I want to,
Okay,
yeah, I want Marlene Parsons to be part of that because she works with them on a consistent basis.
And Councilor Parsons is a veteran as well.
there you go. Great, thank you.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Great, yep, I was going,
Great, this is exciting. Good things to look forward to.
If I could cut in for just a second. The normal process would be this group would make a motion to add these to the calendar. I would take that motion and take it to the city council at the next opportunity. Given that there is a work session next Monday, I guess it would be helpful if you folks made a motion to adopt this revised calendar, and then we can take the calendar with us to that work session for consideration by the city council.
I make a motion to adopt this revised calendar and to take it to the Monday's work session.
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All who oppose, say nay. Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Here we go. Okay, neighborhood associations. Let's see.
So I think the only ones that need to be replaced would be Greater Gubser neighborhood and West Kaiser.
I'll take West Kaiser.
Yeah, I can
Oh.
take that. I'm a part of
one?
that area,
Which one?
the greater Northeast Kaiser. Oh, okay, perfect.
She's my council person, but you can be my diversity engagement person.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll go with the greater Gubser neighborhood just because it looks like there's a Counselor Starr.
I have a question. I'm assigned to the Southeast Kaiser Neighborhood Association, but that meets at the same time as this committee. Do they meet here in the lobby?
They meet in one of the small rooms.
Okay. So should I just like skip this meeting at 6:30 and go there for a little bit and come back? So I won't ever be able to go there then.
I know. We gotta figure out a plan for that one.
I think you could read with the notes
Huh?
or connect with Colleen. and just-
I connect with Colleen quite frequently, so all you gotta do is ask her for a copy of the minutes and just touch base with her on the phone.
Well,
She's
Do you
pretty
prefer to be
open.
there, though?
well, at least for five minutes to introduce myself to them. I don't have to stay there for their entire meeting, but I just want to connect with them on a face-to-face manner. So
So how could we solve
I
that?
just need permission from, no?
I'm sorry, I just realized something. Never mind. My brain just went off.
Just to go there and make a 5-minute appearance.
I'd be
That's
okay
all.
with that.
And then we can connect some other way.
Sure.
Okay.
So Jane, you're doing the Greater Gubster, and then are you also doing the Greater Northeast?
No, just the greater Gubser
Thank you.
neighborhood.
And I'm Greater Northeast Liaison.
So we need somebody for the Greater Gubser then?
No.
No, that's,
For West Kaiser.
West Kaiser.
I'll take West Kaiser. I attend those meetings anyway. Jane's gonna do Greater Gupser. And then Northwest Kaiser. Stephanie, are you still attending those?
I am.
Perfect.
Okay, so it looks like all of the associations have a committee member attending, is that right? Yep. Okay, great.
Tim, do you want a motion for this to bring to the work session?
Tim, we're doing good.
I'm so proud of you all.
So it looks like we're going to move on to the definitions, the CDEC definitions. And if I remember correctly, in the last meeting, we were debating about the word equity in the paragraph of justice. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
I think at the current state right now, we should probably take justice off, although it is part of our mission statement and part of our I guess part of what we were designed to do with the resolution.
I think with the definition with the equity in there, it should stay in.
I I agree with Stephanie. It's in our mission statement. And we, as a group, worked on these definitions,
For a long
and we agreed with the wording. And we can discuss it again today and see if we need to tweak anything in these definitions, but I think we should keep it. It's in our mission statement.
I agree.
And also, there's a lot of politicizing out there in regards to these words, and I don't want it to be a political statement. It's a human rights statement that we are working with, and you know, my personal take on this is that it's not political, and we want to make sure that we emphasize this. You know, our mission is to engage and to, you know, to just meet the mission and the goals of this committee, which is to advise the council on issues, invite community engagement. So we try to have community members come in or contact us in any manner. I know that I have a lot of community connections which don't necessarily come to this meeting, but they connect with me in many different ways. And so I just want to leave those definitions there, but we can discuss them tonight and also discuss them on our work session on the 10th. So that is my take on it.
And I think that's a great subject that you bring up on the community that can't make it to the meetings, right? So there's a large population out there that is unable to because life happens. So we have to be thinking about accessibility. So when we think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, we got to also, and justice, we got to also think about accessibility. And I think a perfect example, and thank you for bringing that up, that little birdie on the corner there is for potential Zoom meetings. I think that is accessibility. There are other ways that we can also promote accessibility, and that is what that we should be considering. So if someone is unable to or unwilling to because of the current state, so what are other avenues that they can have access to the information? And that is via, in this case, Zoom, something that's live, that people can interact and engage, and they can also voice that opinion and encourage them to actually voice their opinion. Sorry, I keep touching the microphone. I talk with my hands, I apologize. So accessibility would be one that, something that we need to have a discussion on, I think.
I did take the definitions to the CBEL meeting and to some of the other community meetings, and they like the word equity over and the other wording that we were talking about last month. So I do like adding equity into the definition of justice, and that was the only thing that I really talked about with folks. I did share our other definitions. They like our inclusion definition and how we're being inclusive and not leaving anybody out. I do like the fact that we talk about diversity in a ton of different ways in this group. And I'm super excited about Zoom because I have folks who are interested in all our meetings being done that way, so I hope we have it figured out. But I am okay with leaving justice. I just know some of our council is not going to be happy with that. So we need to be prepared for that and be able to counter that.
I think that we are going to take up that task with all our might and intentions, and we will go for it in a positive and constructive manner. And like I've said before in our last council meeting, My goal is to work with the council in a collaborative manner, not in a confrontational manner. And I go back to Johnny Lake's last words. All of us have more in common than differences, and I think that we need to build upon that, you know. As I sit here with the rest of you guys, I would say that we all have differences in many, many ways, but we all share a commonality. I think we care very much about each other and the community, and that's why we're here. So there.
So I like the second definition better for diversity. How about we start with that one?
In the red, you like, or I'm,
Nope, second definition at the top.
oh, great, yes.
Yeah, she wants to start with that.
I think it covers pretty much everything that we stand for.
Yeah, it's very all-encompassing.
I would like to, and you all have worked so hard on this the last 2 years. Somewhere in there, it's something that I've really struggled with in this committee is the communication with our Spanish-speaking residents and even with the Russian and coming back to council. Oops. Sorry, whoever's listening. Something that I've struggled with is with Southeast Kaiser is asking for items that are in Spanish or that we need in Russian and that we don't have the money. And for me, that communication part, even when I walk in and you go to pay a water bill, and as I know that most Spanish speakers, we don't have checking accounts, you know, there's not even anything that even says hola or buenos dias. So from that perspective I think we're really lacking in that welcoming, bilingual, very easy, we can use Google Translator, kind of putting ourselves in those easy, like, what does that look like to be right here?
Yeah, I think we've had many discussions on those, and a lot of it has to do with funding, right, and the translation. So funding is an issue. And I think the main thing that we want to do is, and there has been a lot of changes, positive changes actually on the website in many ways. But I think as a city, we have to be careful when we translate that it's not just about how do we take this word in Google and translate it, but is the meaning what it needs to be. When you're in a city, you have to make sure that the meaning behind it is not incorrect. So for that purpose, I think that discussion has been taken over and over. Funding is of a challenge.
And I totally get that. I guess maybe just looking outside of the box on some things, like, can we get volunteers? Like, can we reach out to Latino Business Alliance? Can we reach out to Jose Gonzalez? Can we say, do you have somebody? Is there a grant? So I guess just looking at it from that.
Absolutely. And we actually talked about collaborating with schools or universities or colleges that have a lot of that going on. So how can we collaborate with them so that they can assist? So is it a project that a teacher might bring forward and that helps? So it's that collaboration that we need to do and start. I think that the definition of or the understanding of what this council is also important in how we move forward. I think in the past we have done a lot of what about this idea, and it's like, well, is it within our scope? Is it outside of scope? I think the definition of what is in our scope and outside of scope is important so that we can start taking action in the community, not just coming in here and sitting here for an hour, but once we leave, what is the action taken outside of this? And that includes the translation, and that includes connecting with the community leaders or any other community members who are willing to assist, because everyone wants to help. We just need to show how, and we need to guide them on how. But I want to make sure that we get the definitions done, and I don't want to speak for you, Jane, but I think are we saying that we want to postpone the definitions, or do we want to have that discussion now so that we can finalize them?
I think it would be smart to finalize them, although I can appreciate that perspective. The community member who looked over our definitions and added these suggestions is a Spanish speaker. But I would be curious, just making sure that, I guess, this translates to exactly what the intent is, I think is important just to make sure. Otherwise, I don't have any other suggestions for the definitions. I feel okay with them.
So are we having two definitions of diversity? Like there's two of them. Are we picking one or are we having both?
So we should pick one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would love to pick the second definition because I think it covers everything. And that's kind of what we took last month from all our communications, and we combined it into that one statement. And I think it just fits for who we are and what we do.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, we're good with second one?
Yes.
Inclusion, we have one.
Yes, it looks like just one.
Okay, equity,
I love the second one. We worked really hard on that one and went back and forth for a little bit.
I like the second as well. It explains a little bit more.
okay. And justice, the only change that we did last time was adding equity on there. Fairness
I
and
like it.
equity. Are we okay with
Carrie,
that
I know
one?
we worked it really hard on that one. Are there any other changes you think that we need to add for justice at all?
I don't think so. I know that I had asked this last time, where it says that it involves upholding laws, and under, in my understanding, the committee doesn't necessarily uphold laws. So I don't know if anyone could add context or a thought to that.
But I think
Yeah,
we said
I don't-
it resembles, well, I'll let Mayor.
There was just a word I thought is really helpful in my understanding of justice, and that's impartiality.
So you're saying that the word of impartiality is missing?
It feels that way to me.
So can we?
Any
can we,
idea where you want
can
it?
we take out fairness and replace it with impartiality?
I like that.
Sure. Yeah, I think that's fine.
Where do we want to fit it? I missed that part.
So we would take out in the pursuit of fairness, and we would change it to in the pursuit of impartiality.
We're okay with that?
Yeah.
I think that for those of you who were not here during our discussion, and that's with Mayor Kathy and Councilor Cross, we talked about justice. And we wanted to leave it there because it completes the other definitions and it addresses action. The other is just beliefs, but justice
That is accurate.
makes it a complete circle. That's why we left it there.
Okay, do we need to vote now to approve these definitions? Yeah. Okay.
Tim says yes.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the definitions as covered.
So from a process standpoint, the council did ask us to put these together in the context of the next couple pages, the Volunteer Coordinating Committee's interview questions. So what I'm anticipating is if you folks are happy with these definitions, we'll take them, put them into the questionnaire and then the scoring sheet rubric, those next two documents that we'll be looking at. And then that way we'll have it all concise. And then at some point in time, if we get to the change in the appointment process, we can use that to present to the VCC and the council at the same time and say, this is kind of what we're thinking. But we can still use those definitions also elsewhere if we so choose as well. But that's really the next step where I see these going. So I do appreciate all your folks' hard work on it.
So do we need to pass a motion, I'm sorry, for?
Yes, it would be helpful. Thank you.
So I make a motion that we use the definitions as covered this evening.
I second.
All in favor of passing the definitions, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed, say nay. Motion passes.
And whose voice did I hear second it?
I did.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you. Okay. Okay, moving on to the Volunteer Coordinating Committee interview questions.
Tim, is there anything specific anything specific we need to do with these questions? Because I thought we were done with that piece other than adding the definitions in there, which is up to you.
Correct. I believe that was the only part that we were stumbling on. Yes. And the way I would envision this is where you have the CDEC mission statement. Under item 3, it says acting on the values included in the resolution for justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. I can either see we add the definitions right there, or we put a little asterisk and have them as an attachment. So I don't know if you folks have any preferences on which way you would like to see it. So, or you could have a third option that I'm not thinking of. So I'm thinking of either including them on
Whatever makes it easier
cover
for
page
you,
or
I'm
as an
good with.
appendix.
So, I'm sorry, so we would
What are
add
we
the
looking at?
we would add those definitions to
Oh,
something? Okay.
Is that right, Tim? You'll bring it back to us,
Yeah, I can do that with the final version.
We're done with the questions. I think that's the part that
Yes.
we're saying.
Yeah, okay.
I looked at this document this afternoon, and I didn't make many changes here, but I have a couple of concerns because at one of our last meetings, the Volunteer Coordinating Committee told us that they did not feel comfortable doing this part. They did not want to do it. So because of that, this document is kind of useless. However, there are portions of this document that are good, and depending on what happens at the work session, what I would like to do with this document is use some of the same questions and rubrics, but somehow make it a little bit more user-friendly, because it's very, I don't know, it's just pretty lengthy, I think. And I don't know, I would like to, this is what I would like to do, is change it so that it's a little bit simpler to utilize. And, you know, and I looked at all the questions, and they're good. And there's one that I kind of thought that we could do away with, and that is on page 2, question number 3. It's a good question, but I thought that, you know, it's one that we really could do away with it, where it says, please provide an example of a time you worked with someone with a different background or viewpoint. what was the outcome and how did you contribute to it? It's a good question, but I think that if we delete it, we can still get the information from a person who's interested in being on this committee. So that's just one example of how we can simplify this whole document and make it a little bit more user-friendly to, if the council and our committee decide to allow or agree, not allow, but agree to have each counselor make the appointment, which is, I think, what many of them want to do. I still would like to use some of these questions because in the past, I have insisted that each counselor use the same type of rubrics instead of using their own personal definitions. That way, everybody's on the same page and there is transparency. That is a big word that I have used over and over again. You don't nominate somebody because you are friends. You nominate somebody because that person is committed to our goals and missions and wants to work on it. So that's my take on this document. I would like to tweak it so that it's more user-friendly.
Yeah, thank you for those thoughts. Mayor Clark?
I absolutely agree. I think that you're going to get some of the same information by asking question number 1. And I might suggest removing number 2 because we're asking people to restate what we just defined and we're going to be handing it to them.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's going to be terribly helpful.
Yeah.
And may I suggest combining 4 and 5? Because it's pretty much the same question.
Yeah.
So that would get us down to number, just 2 questions, actually.
Yeah.
That would instigate, a short conversation.
Yep.
But if we just have 2 prompts that initiate a conversation, I think that's going to be plenty.
And I don't really think you need a numeric score.
No.
I would agree.
I would, thank you. Chair, I would say just from serving on the volunteer coordinating committee, yes, I mean, it's good to have props, but encourage follow-ups because follow-ups are going to be different depending on where you're coming from. Like, those are good base questions, but follow-ups are going to be different.
Agreed.
So is it my understanding that if we have a more simplified process, questionnaire, thank you, that the volunteer committee would then take up the task of filling seats?
We won't know until we ask.
Okay.
But as
Well,
a-
it would be part of the, council would have to approve that process first.
right.
And it did look, I mean, from my point of view, I'm only speaking for myself, like that, I'm like, what, are we interviewing doctors? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
It is a lot.
Yeah, just 2
Complicated.
questions.
And I'm okay with moving it to the 2 questions, taking out
Yeah, but
taking out those 2 and combining 4 and 5 does make the process much simpler.
I agree.
And it provides all the information we need, to be honest.
And even if the volunteer coordinating committee doesn't want to do it in the end, I think that whoever does it can still use these questions.
I agree.
It's important that
It gives them a
every-
guide, so
every-
that the
whoever
people
is
who
the entity.
join us have an idea of what we do.
If somebody were to answer those questions, would that be submitted for others to see?
This would be verbal as I
They would,
understand
they
it.
would
Okay.
probably come up here and then
Yeah.
they would ask.
Oh, I see. Okay, thank
Like
you.
an interview.
When you go through the VCC committee, you turn your information into Dawn, because she oversees that part of it. And then she lets you know what day that group is meeting and what day you'll be facing VCC. And then you sit out there where Jackie is, and you wait to be called up and you answer whatever questions they ask. I have seen them leave vacancies on more than one committee, even with people out there. So even if they took it on, I can't promise that they'll fill it. But it gives them the tools to help, because we've all heard, well, most of us have heard they're uncomfortable with the process. And they've come and shared with us on more than one occasion on some of their concerns. And we've addressed them with each meeting to kind of help guide. And this step, I think, would help guide them even further. And it'll simplify things for the council as well,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Because is it my understanding that right now the seats are filled by a city
A
council?
city councilor fills those positions. Like I was appointed by Shaney.
Right. So then.
You were appointed by Dan.
Okay, so then I guess I'm curious then with these questions, because like I wasn't necessarily asked like these exact questions. So would we be changing how seats are filled, either by city council or the VCC? Or am I misunderstanding?
I don't,
City manager?
Tim,
So we have a bunch of processes that are all kind of coming together. I did hand out or have the resolution and the Appendix A for this committee. Since we're having the joint work session Monday night, this is going to be probably the meat and potatoes of what we're going to be talking about. And I think there's a few things going on. The CDECU folks made a recommendation a while back to move from counselor appointments to having the VCC handle it. We tried to have a work session in December, trying to get all three groups together to talk about it, and we didn't get a quorum. So that's still kind of up in the air if we're going to need to reschedule that. However, with the Monday night session coming up, there's a few things that the council has brought forth that they want to look at changing, and then it'll be an opportunity to interact with this group to say, hey, is there anything else that we need to discuss? So a couple of things, I guess I don't want to jump the gun too much, but they're going to be looking at terms, so they want to align those up better with how the city council is elected. So it'd be a 2-year term instead of a 3-year term. So that's one of the things that the city council has brought up. They want to look at changing the membership. So instead of 2 city councilors that are both voting, we'd have 1 non-voting city councilor liaison. So those are the 2 main things that were going to be discussed at the last city council meeting that got moved to the work session so that we could get your folks' input as well. And then somewhere along the way, we could bring up the appointment process, and Monday night would probably be a good time, since we're looking at the document, that you can talk with the city council to figure out where you folks want to land. However, having said that, if there's anything else on here that you feel we need to talk about, say the mission or the purpose or the tasks that have been assigned, if you have thoughts on things there, we can discuss it here if you want to do that, or you can just bring it Monday night and bring those up during that time with the council. So I don't know if that helps answer some of the questions for
That
you,
does.
but that gives a little bit of history of where we're going, and it's just a matter of getting all the right people in the right room, I think.
and they're also looking at maybe doing away with this committee for a while. So that's also something that we need to be aware of.
I don't think that's true.
Talking to Dan, it is.
Well, yeah,
Dan doesn't speak for all 7 of us.
I know.
Okay, so
But-
maybe Dan said that, but that's not true.
well, yeah,
So
and it sounds
maybe
like
Maybe Soraya can clarify.
What from my understanding, it was the pause on the names and how that affected with what's happening with the DEI and the executive order. So, and again, I mean, I know how you feel, but really, when we're looking at, in my opinion, like, okay, it's kind of like, oh, it looks like I can be hurt from that. Like, I'm going to look like, hey, if I use the word belonging or inclusive and that's going to protect me more, I'm going to be okay with that. So even though I know you've worked really hard on those words, I'm going to weigh both sides. So that's where I was coming from. I can't say where Dan was coming from, but it was never about. It was about making sure that we had everything in line.
Yeah, and I think it makes sense to going through this. I mean, it gives a general overview of the task and the purpose of this committee, but it sounds like, excuse me, just the little bit of communication that I've had over the last month about it, it just seems like we're really needing to be much more specific in what this committee does, timelines, having, a metric to base our data off of, I think is going to be really important, and it's going to help all of us to come to a mutual understanding of what we need to do moving forward. So,
Right. And we have been working on the framework to put all of that together, which is something I don't know that Dawn has shared with you. Dawn, does she have any of the framework we covered?
do you have it? Okay, cool. Yeah, okay. So is there anything else in here, though? Sorry, Mayor Clark.
Thank you. One of the things I would encourage this group to do is look at the projects and programming that's coming forward this year. Last year, you were instrumental in the conversations with the neighborhood associations, and we updated that whole process, by decades, because that ordinance was really out of date. You're also important in the neighborhood traffic management program, giving another look at that from a diverse lens, and that was important in doing that massive update. This year, we just heard on Monday night that we are going to be engaging a consultant to put together our plan for community engagement for the transportation system plan update. I think that should be one of the objectives for this year, and also look at some of the other programmatic work coming up, especially as we develop our goals, the council goals. Where is the appropriate role and opportunity for a specific project and programming in 25 to complement that work? So I think having objectives, clear objectives, and projects like that really help elevate what you just did. You've created this framework of understanding. How does that now apply in specific work of the city? And maybe also engage with, because you all go to the other committees as well as neighbor associations, bring back potential goals and objectives that are programmatic, not too dissimilar from what the council's doing. So that's just a thought I had.
On that line, part of what I've been able to do is with translations, Mondays I pick up a Spanish packet with Melissa, and I've been able to give it to our Spanish speakers in the community, and it literally goes from one house to another. It's funny because watching them say, okay, I'm done, and giving it to the neighbor, and then once that neighbor passes it on, they have their little powwow in the driveway or at the school when they're picking up their kids. We worked really hard to be able to get the translation pieces moving, and we have done a lot of work with that. You can pull it up in several languages online. My problem is some of my folks are not online, so I'm constantly saying, can I get? And Melissa is amazing at making sure you get what you need. So if there's something you need, all you got to do is give her a at least 48 hours notice. I am not that good when it comes to Dawn, I will be honest. But Dawn always takes care of what I need. And if she can't get it to me that day, I usually have it the following.
Great.
Thanks, Dawn.
Thanks, Don. Okay.
May I make a suggestion? Since we sort of talked about the questionnaire that we were to use, whether it be the VCC or the individual counselors, could each one of us look at the packet and see how we can tweak it so that it is simpler and give suggestions? We can't do it tonight, but.
We already did.
Did we do it?
Yeah,
we
we
already did
did.
it?
We're combining questions 4 and
Done.
I see, yeah.
5
Okay,
and eliminating question 2 because it's the same as
2
1,
and 3,
basic.
and we're combining 4
I
and
see,
5.
okay,
Yep.
okay. Okay.
But yeah, I appreciate wanting to simplify it. And I just want to reiterate with Mayor Clark, I definitely believe that we should be looking forward at the other projects that are going to be happening to be able to frame our work to mirror that. I mean, that's exactly it. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, and then let's see.
One thing.
Oh, sorry.
So we also need to try and get the council to all be on the same page on what the expectations are for us. Because I've heard different expectations, and I think that might be part of what the conflict or underlying whatever it is going on. So I just want to ensure that.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my understanding of this committee is it really acts as an advisory to other committees and the council, and a lot of collaborating and engaging with the community, right, to bring that.
But I think that further that definition, so if we are collaborating with other committees, what are we doing to be part of that? So if they are working in projects, and if we're adding that lens that is needed, are we attending those meetings? Are we suggesting? Are we looking at the information that is being talked about? Because once it's after the fact, it's really hard to add your lens because it's done. So we have to be proactive. So I think that's the thing. And that's also for us to understand that the work, there's a lot of work, and that this committee it needs to be aware of that it's not just let's sit here for an hour, 2 hours and talk. We need to participate, and that includes attending other meetings and other committees, and being present and taking, your lens, that is the valuable piece of it, that we can contribute to the city of Kaiser.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Mayor Clark?
I have an idea. So, yes, and sometimes it's not easy to get people to additional meetings, but it might be an idea in order to elevate particular projects that are being discussed by other committees to have somebody assigned to review the agendas that are coming out from the different committees, and then bring ideas to this group. Is this a space where we can engage? Is this something that would benefit from additional look? Similar to what we heard Monday night with the transportation system plan, a community engagement program. We are hiring a consultant because this is a technical and very important outreach that we will be engaging in as part of this update. But on the smaller scale, read the parks packet. Where is an opportunity? Read the planning commission packet, and that's daunting. At least for me, but have someone take the time to read it through, and then, bring back ideas on where is the opportunities that exist without having to go into more meetings.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, but of course, you can. We want people to go, but I want to make it simpler, maybe. So, just a thought.
Yeah, That is really helpful. I'm curious then what that would look like. Could we each be assigned then to a
Once
specific?
upon a time, we were. And once upon a time, we picked committees to be part of. I attend several, but I also submit some of what I do in a report. I trying to tone it down to save Dawn a headache. Does everybody have the organizations and groups operating in Kaiser?
Towards the back,
Yeah, it's towards the back of the thin binder,
past your orange. Yeah.
right before accomplishments or after the orange page, or at least mine is orange. I'm not gonna say everybody's is, but Dawn's really consistent, so I'm gonna assume they are.
So there is a lot. Yes, Kathy Clark.
Yes, there is a lot.
But if I may suggest, starting with the city committees. Because you are advisory to council. And as I understand, the objective is to engage with what the city is doing. If we want to go farther, but that would be okay. Neighborhood associations is one of those steps, but I would really encourage, start with the city committees.
That makes sense to me. Okay.
So the only one I don't attend right now is Arts and VCC. VCC is the same time as Claggett Creek Watershed, and I'm on that board. So I can't do VCC.
Everybody pick one.
Are one of you able to?
We're gonna get a list of the other ones for the city.
It's on here. City council, audit, budget, long range. I don't attend audit. I don't think I'm allowed to attend audit.
This is public,
Oh, is it?
of course. So the ones that exist, if you want to, each one take one, the ones that meet on a regular basis, there are some one-offs, are art, parks,
I
planning.
attend parks already.
So
You are
art,
listed on there.
parks, planning, traffic safety, bike ped, VCC. Those are the regulars. The others are either one-offs or, like budget is, just a couple of meetings per year. But those are the ones that are being out on a regular basis that are city.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to focus on city and not spread ourselves too thinly.
And then grow from there.
Okay, so it looks like, so Tammy, you would be, like attending the city council and reviewing that agenda, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Does anyone else want to participate in that specific group?
Well, that's true. Yeah, council would be the sixth one, so there you go, 6.
I can do that with you.
Okay.
And if all our emails are on there, if I see something in a packet that I think that, hey, this could be a good topic, then. I mean, some topics are gonna be like, why do I need to go to the planning commission? But hey, this looks interesting because they're talking in traffic. That looks like a busy road for kiddos,
Yeah.
you know?
I always attend the
Then
traffic
review it
because I
before.
got stuff in there right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Plus, I like it.
What about the audit committee?
Audits again, it's a public meeting, so.
Okay.
That's a one-off, and it is simply to receive the audit. Am I correct, Mr. Wood?
That is correct.
Thank you.
It's a real barn burner.
Okay, well, yeah.
Okay, moving on to the budget committee. This meets in April and May.
I attend budget meetings already.
And again, it's two nights in May.
Okay.
I have a question. Did this committee ask for any dollars last year?
No.
Okay, so we could. Yeah, just
Good, I
making your
wanted
job
to
easier,
look.
Tim.
Okay.
Art?
Good to know. Okay, yeah.
Okay, you're working.
Or, sorry, so we're, parks, yes.
Okay.
Benita? Parks. Okay, great. Personal policy committee?
Is no longer.
Is no longer.
That's right. Okay, and then Tammy, you are on the planning commission, or not on it, but,
Well, I attend. I'm not on it.
excuse me, attend. Okay, and then the public art commission? I can do that one. Great. Okay, Stephanie Cross.
Art, Stephanie.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And then the traffic safety bikeway pedestrian committee, Tammy, are you also attending that?
Yep. Okay. Anybody want to join me for traffic?
I do not, but I'll keep an eye on the package.
If I need backup, I'll let you know. I got a neighborhood traffic management plan in there right now.
Okay, and then the Kaiser Pier Court,
That's,
not one.
No, VCC. I can't do VCC because I have Claggett Creek Watershed at the same time.
That one is just as vacancies are needed, so sometimes it can go 3 months without having one.
but
There
generally,
is one next week.
yeah.
I probably could do it. Or, actually, I'm not free next Thursday.
Well, they have a regularly scheduled meeting, but they only actually meet if there are vacancies that are to be filled. So it can be canceled if there is nothing to do.
And
I'm willing to do that, but I'm not, I'm not free next week. Do you want to do that, Carrie? Sure. Okay, okay. Thank you.
Planning.
Yes, next Thursday.
They are. Oh, they are? Yes. And that's it. Those are the regulars for the city, and then Long Range Planning Task Force is a task force. So again, it's twice a year. Audit, it's once a year. Emergency planning is as needed, so there are one-offs, and of course, you can subscribe to receive all of those, but having somebody that is intentionally eyes-on between all of you, I think it is really going to help elevate opportunities that you could bring back to the group. Hey, this feels like something we could do.
Yes.
Tim, will you loop me into audit? I don't sign up for that one. I can.
I can
I
definitely
had,
do that.
I think we're almost right. Dawn, I had Melissa print something out for me. So Ray White, I'm not sure, I think that Chair Jane, sorry, your last name's very hard.
I know, that's
I got to
okay.
practice, I'm calling you
No,
Chair Jane.
Yeah, that's
Chair
fine.
Jane is going, I think she knows who he is, Ray White. He lives here in Kaiser, and he has a book, and he does a lot of inclusivity and leadership training. And I think I already said, but I'm on the Y board with him. So I just kind of outline what we've been doing and some of maybe the challenges that we're having. So he emailed this to me today. He was going to come speak, but he didn't have a chance for public comment. But he did say in the future he'd be happy to come and give us some insight.
So cool.
Ray is phenomenal at what he does, and yeah, I really will consider all of this. I think he's very insightful and does good work. Thanks, Sarita, for getting that.
Thank you, Sarita. Oh, sorry, microphone. Sorry, Jackie.
His kids go to Forest Ridge. Yeah, he's.
I like this part where it says support inclusive economic growth. To me, that's, a win-win, right? We're celebrating small businesses, we're celebrating minority businesses, and we're also, offering opportunities for, possible revenue. So just one aspect of this that I really like.
And, he's a Kaiserite, so, it's great to have his lens from living here in Kaiser and raising his kids here in Kaiser. Like, I just love that. And he just has a wonderful way with the words. And even here, when I'm reading it, like, conduct quarterly review meetings to assess impact and, pivot if you need to. So, there you go. We have a resource.
Okay, is there any other business that we need to discuss? I think that's it. Okay, it is now 7:52, meeting is adjourned.